name is Jane Pauline Esper, a Technology Communication Management student at Mindanao University of Science and Technology. What I want to share with you now is all about Communication Competence Theory, which is formulated by Dr. Callahan and Dr. Larry Dutchman. So let's take a look at this topic, which will be shown in slide 1. So Communication Competence Theory, or CC. Communication competence includes knowledge and awareness of when to say, where to say, to whom to say, what to say, and how to say. These 4 W and the H are very important in dealing with competence communication because it will test your ability and how efficient you are in communicating. In brief maxim, specify 4 corners of communication competence. First is the quantity, which means say only as much as necessary. The relevance, say only what is relevant, and quality, say only what is true and observe the manner of saying. Be clear. Now let us define each word so that you can understand it properly. So communication. Communication is a theory of communicative acts or speech acts which systematically accomplish particular purpose. Communication also is the activity of conveying information through the exchange of thoughts, messages, or information as by speech, visual, signals, writing, or behavior. It is a meaningful exchange of information between 2 or more living creatures. Then competence. Competence is a proficiency within a knowledge of the competencies described above. Or we can say that competence is the ability to do something successfully or efficiently. So, we had defined each word. Now let us define the theory itself. What does this theory is all about? The communication competence theory is a knowledge that enables a person to communicate functionally and interactively, an aspect that enables us to convey and interpret messages and to negotiate meanings interpersonally within a specific context. So, that's what we mean by communication competence. Then, let us explore the theories behind this study. Our theories are Hines and Dutchman. Del Hathaway Hines was born on June 7, 1927 in Portland, Oregon. He was a linguist, social linguist, anthropologist, and folklorist who established a disciplinary foundation for the comparative ethnographic study of language use. His research focused upon the languages of the Pacific Northwest, and he worked in the Army as a reporter, which influenced him to become a linguist. Then, unfortunately, he died last November 13, 2009 at Charlottesville, Virginia due to complications of his Alzheimer's disease. Now, Del Hines has contributed a model, or known as a speaking model, in a communicative competence language. So let us explore his studies and his model. Speaking model. Hines constructed the acronym SPEAKING, under which he grouped 60 components within 8 divisions, namely speaking, setting, and speak. P for participant, E for S, A for act sequence, T for K, I for instrumentality, N for norms, and G for trends. So setting is very common to us. Where does the happening take place? So it's a physical circumstance. And it's the same. It's a psychological setting or cultural definition. So take a look at this picture, which shows the setting and which shows the scene. Of course, the house represents the setting and the scene represents the dining. The participants, speaker and audience, can be distinguished as aggressive and other heroes. The communication will not occur without a certain participant. E for N, purposes, goals, and outcomes. The next is the key. Etchman is one of the leading theorists in the field of language testing for the last 3 decades. And he has this pragmatic view, which mainly focuses on the relationship between what one says in his or her communicative act and what functions he or she intends to perform with her assistant. So to clarify this, can I explain for a minute four aspects of competence? First, the grammatical. Second, the fourth. Third is the social linguist, and fourth, strategic. This competence goes together and able to meet communicative goals. When you say grammatical competence, go to the left cover to the culture concept and all the grammatical skills. And into this course, it is the ability of connecting sentences and interpersonal relationships. It is the ability on how to write a certain text or message in an appropriate manner. And social linguistic competence goes with understanding social context. It goes with proper usage of the language. The strategic competence is a verbal and non-verbal strategy. It condensates, breaks down to the performance variables of sufficient competence. Hand gestures are also an example of this competence. James Common has two language proficiency tests: the COP and the BIC. COP is a cognitive academic language proficiency, which is context free. So this study is basically used in a classroom discussion or any formal gathering. While BIC is a communicative capacity of language, focuses on meaning used for daily interpersonal exchanges. So BIC is used as an informal exchanges of communication in day-to-day experience. Then, this topic merely says this citation. Say what you mean and mean what you say, because the language learner user needs to use the language not only correctly but also appropriately. Then, according to Speechbridge and Kovach, there are three component model of communication competence: the knowledge, skills, and motivation. These three goes together to be a competent one. So you should have the knowledge or the behavior best to the particular situation, the skills, the ability to apply the behavior in a given context, and the motivation is having a desire to communicate in a competent manner. We have then to account for the fact that a normal child acquires knowledge and senses not only as grammatical but also as appropriate. He or she acquires competence as to whom to speak, when not, and as to what to talk about, with whom, when, where, what matter. In short, a child becomes able to accomplish a repertoire of speech acts, to take part in speech events, and to evaluate their accomplishments